So let's start off in a kneeling position. So I'm going to turn this way so you can see to start with. Alright, hands across your chest. And first of all, we're just going to work through flexion and extension in the spine. So I want you to tuck your chin and then flex your upper back. So like round it and then work your way down through the middle and lower until you're in as much flexion as possible. Alright, from here we're going to come back up. So start to extend the lower back. Come through the middle, upper, and then extend the neck. Alright, 2 more reps. Tuck the chin. Almost like a slinky curling over one vertebrae at a time. And let's go back into extension. And last rep, guys. And back into extension. All right, guys, next we're gonna go through some rotation. So I'll just turn this way. All right, so we're gonna go back into our max flexion, so rounding as much as possible. And then we're just gonna rotate side to side. So go all the way as much as you can to the left, and then back through the middle, and then over to the right. Back to the left. And over to the right. And over to the left. And over to the right. Back to the middle, and let's extend as much as possible, except this time don't extend the neck, just keep your neck neutral. And now we're going to lean side to side, so laterally flex. So let's lean over to the left. So we're not rotating this time, we're just leaning over. And back up and over to the right. And over to the left. And guys, if if sitting in the kneeling position is getting overwhelming, you can always come to a tall kneel. And to the right. And last rep each way. All right, guys, we're just going to put all those movements together now into our full spine cars. So let's flex just to begin. Round your back as much as you can. All right, let's rotate to the left as much as possible. Once we can't get any more rotation, then we're going to start to laterally flex and lean over. Then we're going to start to extend our spine. And then we're going to come up straight. Extend as much as we can, lean over to the other side. Once we can't lean any further, then we're going to rotate. And we're going to come back through the middle. One more this way, guys. Rotate. Max out that rotation. Once you can't get any more, then laterally flex. And start to extend. And straighten up. And lean over to the other side. And rotate. All right, guys, to the other way. So yeah, in this kneeling position, you can't turn the hips. So it helps focus on the spine. However, you can tilt your pelvis, so it's not completely blocking the other body parts. All right, guys, last rep, best rep. Max out that rotation and laterally flex. Try and squeeze a little bit more on this last rep. And up to extension. And laterally flex other way. As far as you can. And rotate. All right, good stuff, guys. So yeah, sometimes it can be helpful with our cars to break them down. So we started off just flexion, extension, rotation, and lateral flexion before putting it all together. It can help you improve your cars. All right, guys, grab your foam rollers. And we're going to work on extension in the spine. So I'm just going to turn sideways. So yeah, we've all done this before. Lie on your back. And lift your hips up and just get that roller right just above your tailbone. And then just let your pelvis tilt over to extend the right right over the roller on that spot. Okay guys, just move about an inch higher. Again, try to extend. And move another inch. I like to rock side to side sometimes. But it can also be uncomfortable for some people, so. Up. And a little higher up. So we're going to start to move into our thoracic spine. So sit the hips on the ground if you can, and then extend over. And move up a little bit. And let's move up a little bit higher. And a little higher. So if you want a bit more leverage, you can reach your arms up overhead. And try to take deep breaths into your diaphragm. You might feel even more of a stretch in your rib cage. And let's move up again. Deep, deep breaths. All right, guys, if you're pretty much at the top of your spine, then let's move the roller behind the neck. Otherwise, keep slowly making your way up. And then with that roller behind the neck, let's just gently look side to side. And you can play around with where the roller is. You can move it higher up the neck or lower down. All right, guys, let's just do position. Give ourselves a bit of a break. So just hug one knee to the chest, grab it with the opposite hand, and then pull across. So this will get into the spine, but also into the hips. So you're going to feel the stretch wherever the tightest tissues are. So for some people that might be in the glutes. Others that might be in the lower back, maybe even the mid or upper back. Again, guys, in this position, deep breaths into your diaphragm.
Sorry, I got distracted by my dog rampaging back into the house after a walk. Did we switch sides or?
No, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
But we're just about to though, so yeah, let's switch, guys. So yeah, hug that other knee and pull it across with your opposite hand. So each breath, fill your lungs and your diaphragm and your rib cage. And then as you exhale, try and relax a little further into the position. All right, guys, let's come on out of that one. And we'll go back to working on our extension. So take your roller, or if you have yoga blocks, you can grab those. Put your hips over your knees. Then place your elbows on the roller. Hands together like a prayer. And then you're just going to sink down towards the floor. So we will be hitting our shoulders here as well, but also our thoracic spine. So thoracic extension is useful and necessary for any overhead lifting. So overhead squats, strict press, handstands. If our upper back can't extend at all, then it's going to be very hard to hold a weight above our head without extending our lower back. Okay guys, what I want you to do from this position is you're just going to tuck your tailbone under and actually flex your lower back, which is then going to force your upper back to extend even more. All right, guys, out of that one. And now we're going to focus on extending our lower back, so our lumbar spine, with our seal position. So you can either have your hands under your shoulders. If that's too much, you can reach your hands further forwards. Or you can go onto your elbows. Or you can put your elbows on some blocks. Just find that sweet spot for you. And this position is needed for all of our kipping when we're doing our gymnastics, whether it be the toes to bar, pull-ups, muscle-ups, rings. If you have a good arch, then you can create more power with your kip. Make sure we don't have any pinching or painful sensations in the spine. A gentle compression is okay. All right, guys. Come on out of this one. And we're gonna shift our focus now to spinal flexion. So our first stretch we're gonna do is hug our arms behind the knees, and then we're just gonna push our spine back, and we should feel a nice stretch. You're probably gonna feel the stretch wherever you have the most tightness. So yeah, just think of tucking your tailbone and just reaching your back to the wall behind you. All of our joints are important to keep healthy, but our spine is probably the most important. And just like all our other joints, our spine needs movement to be healthy. And just like when we're missing ranges of motion in one joint, it can then lead to compensations in others. Actually, within our spine, if we're missing ranges of motion in some parts, then other parts of our spine compensate. And that can really place a lot of force on those areas and cause injuries. Okay guys, let's lie down on our back again. Place our feet on the ground. And from here we're going to practice segmenting our spine by lifting it up off the ground and then placing it back down. So first movement, I just want you to engage your glutes and try to tuck your tailbone so that only the tailbone lifts. And then your first lumbar vertebrae is going to lift, and then the second, and just try to move one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Make your way up through the thoracic spine. And once you've got as much of your spine off the floor as you can, then we'll just go back down one at a time. All right, I just finished that first rep. I don't know about you guys, but my glutes and back muscles are actually feeling a bit fatigued from that. All right, let's go for 2 more on this. You may notice some parts kind of move all at once in a chunk. So that means those are the areas that we want to restore some segmentation and create more range of motion. So when you're doing your stretches, you can try to target those areas more. All right, that's 2 done for me, but just go at your own pace. I'm going to move on to my 3rd rep now. You probably feel your ab muscles working as well, especially at that lower part. All right, once you're done your 3, let's come back to a kneeling position. And what I want you to do is just walk your hands over to one side. And then also tuck your tailbone under at the same time. And then for me, I feel a good stretch on my right side, lower back. So we're working a little bit rotation as well now. You can keep making small adjustments in your position until you find a good stretch. All right, guys, now I want you to go into more of a side bend and put your hand behind your head. So the stretch is going to move more to your side. Keep that deep diaphragm breathing going. All right, guys, let's come back down and reach over to the other side. And then, guys, just like the other side, we'll just lean over, hand behind the head. If this is too much on the knees, all this kneeling, you could also do this in a seated cross shin position. Okay, guys, last position for today, we'll just do a seated forward fold. So straighten out those legs and just fold forward. Don't force anything. Just relax into it. So this may get your hamstrings as well as lower back. While we're here, let's just do our patella cars. Move those kneecaps around. And other side. All right, guys, just reach forwards one last time. And just lie down on your back. All right, guys, thank you for joining.